A woman's words often reveal her emotions long before her actions do. Men are taught to look for signs in body language, texting frequency, or how often she initiates plans. But the truth is, what she says is just as important, if not more. Women are indirect by nature when it comes to expressing their feelings. They rarely come out and say, "I like you," especially in the early stages. Instead, they drop hints, subtle, coded messages that test the waters, giving them an escape route in case they don't get the response they were hoping for. In this guide, we'll break down 7 things a woman will say when she's developing real feelings for you. If you hear even one of these, she's thinking about you in ways she isn't saying out loud. And if you hear multiple, she's already emotionally invested. Let's begin. 1. I've never told anyone this before. A woman's willingness to open up is one of the biggest indicators of how she feels about you. Women are selective about who they share their deepest thoughts with. They don't reveal their insecurities, childhood stories, personal struggles, or hidden fears to just anyone. These things are earned access, not freely given. When a woman tells you something deeply personal and prefaces it with, "I don't usually talk about this," or "I've never told anyone this before," she's sending a clear message. You are different. But why does this happen? Why does emotional disclosure signal attraction? It comes down to trust and emotional security. A woman cannot feel deeply connected to a man she does not trust. Before feelings turn into full-blown love, they start as a gradual unraveling of emotional walls. The moment she starts letting you into her inner world, she's moving from surface-level attraction to something deeper. This is especially true if she shares something vulnerable: past heartbreak, a childhood trauma, an insecurity about herself. She is exposing a soft part of herself that she normally keeps protected. And once a woman lets you into that space, she cannot emotionally detach easily. Now, the mistake most men make here is not knowing how to respond. If a woman shares something deeply personal, some men either: 1. Minimize it. "Oh, that's not a big deal." 2. Try to solve it. "You just need to do this, and you'll be fine." 3. Change the subject because they don't know what to say. None of these responses deepen attraction. The key here is to listen fully and validate her emotions. You don't need to fix her problems or give her advice. Just let her feel heard. A simple response like, "I really appreciate you trusting me with that," or "That must have been really difficult for you," can make her feel emotionally safe. 2. I feel so comfortable around you. At first glance, this might sound like a harmless, casual compliment, something polite that doesn't necessarily indicate attraction. But when a woman says this in a specific way, it carries a much deeper meaning than most men realize. Women are naturally more cautious than men when it comes to relationships. They have to be. Their instincts are wired for protection, not just physical safety, but emotional safety as well. This is why they don't feel comfortable around just anyone. If she's telling you that you make her feel at ease, that's not random. It's her subconscious signaling that you've bypassed her usual walls and defenses. But here's where men often misunderstand. There are 2 types of comfort a woman can feel around you. One leads to deep attraction, the other leads to the dreaded friend zone. The first type is romantic comfort, when a woman feels safe, but also intrigued, excited, and drawn toward you. The second is platonic comfort, where she feels safe, but not excited or attracted. So how do you know which one she means? Look at the way she says it, and the context in which it comes up. If she tells you she feels comfortable while maintaining strong eye contact, smiling, or playfully touching you, that's a clear sign she's developing romantic feelings. If she says it with a neutral expression during a deep conversation where she confides in you about personal struggles, she might be placing you in the safe guy category. One of the biggest mistakes men make is thinking that making a woman feel comfortable is enough. But comfort alone doesn't create attraction. It creates trust. And trust without intrigue, excitement, or challenge can quickly lead to being seen as just a friend. 3. Do you think about me? When a woman asks you this, she's revealing much more than curiosity. She's testing the waters, trying to see how much space she occupies in your mind. This is not a casual question. It's a subtle way of seeking reassurance, a way for her to gauge whether you see her as more than just another person in your life. Women don't ask this to men they don't care about. If she weren't invested, why would she care if you think about her or not? The fact that she's asking means she has already spent time thinking about you herself. While these responses might seem like the right move, they actually kill the tension. Attraction is built on a delicate balance of certainty and uncertainty. If you reveal too much too soon, you remove the mystery that keeps her interested. Instead, the best way to handle this is to keep her guessing. Playful, teasing responses work wonders because they acknowledge her question without giving everything away. Here are a few examples. Maybe. Why? Have you been thinking about me? I try not to, but you keep showing up in my head. Thinking, number dreaming, maybe. These types of responses do two things. They confirm that she's on your mind, but they also flip the script, forcing her to admit that she's been thinking about you too. This creates intrigue and keeps the dynamic exciting. But let's go even deeper. Why is this question so important? Why does it signal that she's developing real feelings for you? Because when a woman asks this, she is giving you a chance to escalate things emotionally. If you handle it right, this is one of the moments where the shift from casual interest to genuine emotional investment happens. Another way women phrase this is, "Do you ever miss me? I bet you don't even think about me when I'm not around. I was just wondering if you ever think about our conversations after we talk." Each of these is a variation of the same theme. She wants confirmation that she's important to you, but she doesn't want to ask outright. If she were completely indifferent, she wouldn't even bring it up. Now, what should you do after she asks this? This is where most men miss the opportunity. They either give a basic answer and move on, or they overdo it and become too available. What you should do instead is add depth to the conversation. Once you've playfully responded, use that moment to shift into something more personal. A good way to do this is by bringing up a specific memory about her. For example, "You know, I was actually thinking about that joke you made the other day. It randomly popped into my head, and I had to stop myself from laughing in public. It's funny you ask, because I was just remembering the way you reacted to that movie we watched. You have the most interesting expressions when you're into something." Sign 4. What would you do in my shoes? This is an interesting phrase, and it's one that most people wouldn't immediately associate with romantic feelings. But when a woman starts asking for your perspective on her life choices, it's a sign that she values not just your opinion, but the way you approach life's challenges. She's starting to look to you for guidance, not just as a friend, but as a potential partner who holds a place of emotional significance in her life. Psychologically speaking, this is an invitation to understand her more deeply. It's not a casual question. It's a way for her to measure your response, to see if you approach challenges with the depth and wisdom that might make you a valuable companion in her emotional life. It shows that she's invested not only in you, but in the idea of you being a part of her future. This question isn't just about seeking advice. It's about seeing how you react to her vulnerabilities. It's a moment of assessment where she's testing how well your emotional intelligence aligns with her own needs. It may be subtle, but it's a pivotal moment. She's allowing herself to envision you as part of her world, as someone whose influence she trusts. Sign 5. I feel like you get me. There is something deeply powerful about this statement. It resonates because it speaks to a level of understanding that transcends words. When a woman says this, she's not merely talking about surface-level compatibility. She's acknowledging that you've touched her in a place that few others have reached. There's a psychological depth in the phrase, one that speaks to emotional and intellectual resonance. It's the kind of understanding that doesn't require endless explanations. It's unspoken, intuitive. This connection often goes hand in hand with emotional intimacy. You are no longer a distant figure in her life. You are a significant presence, someone whose every word and gesture she reads with clarity. Your ability to understand her beyond the mask she presents to the world is a hallmark of a deepening emotional connection. The moment she says these words, there's a sense of relief in her. It's almost as if she's been waiting for someone to truly get her, and now she's found it in you. This is a pivotal moment in the relationship. It signals that the feelings are no longer surface level. They've rooted themselves in a deep emotional understanding. Sign 6. I can't imagine my life without you. This phrase is profound in its simplicity. When a woman expresses this to you, it's not merely a statement of affection. It's an acknowledgement of emotional attachment and dependency. Her life in her mind has become intertwined with yours in such a way that the very idea of separation seems incomprehensible. This is no casual remark. It's a declaration of significance. From a psychological perspective, this sentiment can be traced back to the concept of emotional bonding. According to attachment theory, individuals form deep emotional bonds with significant others, and these bonds shape how they experience the world. When a woman says this, she is revealing that the emotional connection between you is no longer just a passing attraction. She is indicating that you've become a key part of her life narrative, someone whose presence she cannot easily imagine being absent from. This statement is also a testament to the depth of the emotional investment she has in you. It's not about the small, everyday moments, though they are important. It's about her mental and emotional framework. In her mind, your absence would create a profound gap. This is a powerful sign of attachment, one that carries with it the weight of expectation. She is silently asking for a future together, one where your lives are entwined, inseparable and shared. And by saying this, she's allowing you a glimpse into the emotional future she's imagining with you in it. Sign 7. I want to make you proud. This might not be the first phrase you expect to hear in the midst of romantic affection, but when a woman says this, it's an incredibly powerful signal of her growing emotional investment. To understand this fully, we need to look at it through the lens of self-worth and validation. Women, like all people, seek validation in their relationships, especially in romantic ones. When a woman expresses the desire to make you proud, it reveals a deeper level of respect and admiration. This phrase isn't simply about performing tasks or doing things to gain approval. It goes much deeper than that. On a psychological level, it speaks to her intrinsic motivation to meet your standards, because to her, those standards reflect the value she places in herself as a partner. It's a subtle yet profound way of showing that she's committed to being the best version of herself for you, not because she has to, but because she wants to. These 7 signs are not mere phrases. They are windows into the emotional world of a woman who is beginning to fall for you. Each one represents a deeper level of connection, a connection built on trust, admiration, and the kind of emotional resonance that makes relationships thrive. But remember, words alone are never enough. They are just a reflection of the emotions bubbling beneath the surface. If you truly want to understand what she's feeling, listen to the unspoken as well. Pay attention to how she behaves when no one is watching. Actions, after all, are the true language of the heart. If you found these insights valuable, don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell. Stay tuned for more deep dives into the psychology of relationships and how to truly understand the people around you. Thank you for watching, and remember, the more you listen, the more you learn.